Well, hello there, Chick Chat. We're back with Jersey Shore. It's been a while since we've covered this, but we decided to start with the 4 through 6 episodes, considering those episodes are kind of all in one. I mean, they go on a vacation and it kind of covers the whole span of that vacation. Are you frozen?
Am I frozen?
Okay, never mind. You're back, I think.
Okay.
I hope. Let me just double check.
Oh, I see. I was a little bit
A little
pixelated.
laggy. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
still a little laggy to me.
We're kind of getting a storm coming in.
Mm. Yeah,
Is my audio okay?
your audio's fine. It's just your
Okay. I
visual,
might
but
just get rid of my face for a while.
and then maybe
And
retry
then
it.
when it comes back.
Sorry for the technical difficulties here, Chick Chat, but we are going to kick right into episode 4. So, we start off with this weird trip that Pauly planned for his DJ thing. I mean, I felt like it was kind of random just to go to one of his shows, but I digress. The girls went in on a private plane for $20,000 just to fly 20 minutes. Which, like, if y'all got it like that, I guess. But then there was this part of me, there was this small part of me that was annoyed with it because we see these celebrities just using these private planes like crazy, making a carbon footprint for no reason
Yeah.
whatsoever. And to use a plane just to go 20 minutes when it's only like a 2-hour drive is just bonkers to me, especially because they make this drive later on to go to South Jersey. Where was the plane then? So I don't know. That it was just kind of annoying me a little bit low key, and I'm not gonna lie about that. I was more on
Yeah.
Vinny's side when Vinny was like, "It's just a 2-hour drive. I'm not paying that much to go on a plane."
No, I agree. It's really not that big of a deal to go that far. I understand if they're running a private jet to go across the country or something and they want to be more comfortable, but I think that they really just did this for the experience and, good for you guys that you can afford it. But just like you said,
Mhm.
it's wasteful. It's terrible for the environment. There's a lot of celebrities that are coming under fire for doing this. So I think it's also kind of tone deaf because a lot of that has certainly happened, before they did this. So I don't know. It's kind of dumb. So excessive. Yes, PF. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us.
Appreciate you, PF. But yeah, I agree. Especially with like everything going on right now with the Bezos wedding and everything. Everybody's so
Right.
peed off about that. I
Yeah.
just think it's like in bad taste to use a private jet to just go 20 minutes. It's such a big carbon footprint for absolutely nothing.
Right. No, I completely agree. I think, it's reasonable if you're going a longer distance, even a couple of hours, I guess you could convince me, but 26 minutes, a couple of hour drive, ain't no way. And let's remember, I mean, these people are from Jersey. They're used to sitting in traffic. They're used to long drives, even for short distances. So no, I just think it's completely unacceptable, but whatever, we'll let it pass for now. And
So much
they're
money. $20,000 just to go 20 minutes just feels so like I feel violated by that. Like, I don't know. Like, I
totally
can
true.
understand if you're going to Paris or like overseas or something like you're saying,
Right, but
but
it wouldn't be $20,000 either to go that far in a private jet. It would be much, much more. So, that's
yeah.
I think also an illustration. I mean, not to get crazy political, but do people really need this much money? Do they? I don't think they do. So, anyways, they're here for Pauly's DJ event. I forget what exactly this hotel is called and where it's at.
Mhm.
But
I
they're
know
here.
it's I think it's in, like, Connecticut because I
Yes,
know.
thank you, Connecticut,
Yeah,
because I flew to Connecticut, yeah.
yeah.
So they're at a hotel in Connecticut. The girls end up doing, like, a spa day, the guys go bowling, and then they all meet up at Hell's Kitchen and, have some dinner, which is where Pauly learns that Vinny is sick, but not sick. I'm really confused by this. I mean, it's sort of obvious that he's not sick, and then sometimes they're acting like he's sick. Like his mom came and visited him later on to take care of him. And did something happen between Vinny and Pauly that he's avoiding him or that he has anxiety? I feel like there's something else going on.
So, I found it weird that he even made the drive if he already wasn't feeling good, but maybe the drive might have started.
Threw him off,
Maybe he
maybe.
started to not feel good. But I mean, good thing he didn't go on that damn plane. It would have been even worse. But
You'd got
he,
everyone sick.
yeah, but he doesn't even go around anybody. He stays in his hotel room the entire time and sleeps. And he might have been actually sick, but I just don't understand why he went in the first place. Maybe he was trying to be a good sport but didn't. And I don't know. I felt like he could have at least went to the dinner and maybe like wore a mask or something. I don't know. But yeah, I do think he was actually sick-ish when his mom went to go visit him. I think by then, things had progressed.
Right.
But I
He
don't
supposedly allegedly had the flu.
Yeah, I just don't know why he went at all at that point. I mean, maybe he didn't feel sick until he got there, but it was confusing to me as well. I mean, I know you might not be feeling that great, but maybe just at least go down and say hi. I'm not feeling good. Look, but if they would have saw him, he looked fine to me. I thought he was
Right.
messing with them at first for a while
So
until.
did I. Well, and you can never tell with him. He's just so sarcastic all the time that you
Mhm.
can't tell if he's serious or not. But yeah, I mean, even Pauly called him out while he was DJing, rightfully so. 99.1. I think we've all functioned on, a lot higher fevers than that.
Yeah, I think that does show that his fever was rising, but it doesn't mean that he's not capable of going out with 99.1. But might be a
Mhm.
good idea that he didn't, because if it did get higher than that, which we do see with his mom, his temperature gets higher than that, that he didn't get everyone else sick
Yeah, true.
and their kids.
Very considerate of you, Vinny.
Yeah, but I just feel like more could have been done with him. I think he could have FaceTimed or shown up on the screen that behind Pauly or something.
Right,
But
right.
I kind of thought it was weird that everybody made this effort to go to this show to begin with. I mean, I'm not trying to downplay it or anything, but it's just in Connecticut. It's a show. Like, it seemed like a
I
pretty
think he
brief
invited
trip.
them because it's closer to them.
Mm,
I think that's what he said at the end of the last episode that we covered. Not to
okay.
interrupt, but I think that that's why, because it's on their side of the coast, and usually he's DJing on the West Coast. So I think it was like a convenient place for them all to go.
I thought it was just more of an excuse to get Ron and Sam in the same room.
I mean, aren't all these vacations an excuse now to get Ron and Sam in the same room?
Yeah, I noticed they've been like not so much like next to each other, but now they'll sit closer together where there's only
Yeah,
one
they were in
person
really
between
close
them.
quarters. I must have I deleted a lot of pictures, but yeah, they were in really close quarters in that hotel room before they all decided to go like do their separate activities or whatever.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's definitely getting better. It's getting more cohesive. And honestly, it's really entertaining to see. And actually, speaking of entertaining, I learned on the Jersey Shore fandom wiki that this was the most watched episode ever in Jersey Shore history by far.
Really?
Yes, this
Probably
episode.
because they thought more would happen with Ron and Sam, because it was teased at the end of the last episode that they were gonna like, oh, how do you feel about going on a trip with Sam and da 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 da. So
Right.
possible, because
Yeah, it's
otherwise I don't see why this episode would be the most watched one.
Yeah, it just says on here, South Jersey scored the series' highest rating in 4 years as in 4 years, as its biggest share in 7 years. I don't know what that means. Making Jersey Shore Family Vacation the number one show across all cable on Thursday nights and the most popular cable show on Thursday primetime. It scored 8.4 million viewers compared to last season's ratings of 2.6 million.
Okay. I mean,
That's
I
pretty
think
high.
that 7 years part is just because that's how long Family Vacation's been around. It's like
Oh,
7
okay. Its
years.
highest rating in 4 years and its biggest share in 7 years. Okay, those are different. I don't know what the biggest share is, but it's gotten its highest rating in 4 years. I wonder
Mhm.
what happened 4 years ago that I was watching. Maybe Mike getting out of jail.
Maybe Angelina's wedding.
No, that happened in like 2019.
Maybe about 4 years, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, by the time it came out on TV and all
I
of
guess
that, yeah.
2020,
I
yeah.
just remember being in my apartment watching all of the drama play out about the speech.
The speech. The Staten Island dump. Anyway.
Anyways, so I think Nicole was supposed to plan this trip. They were gonna go to the Carolinas. She spent a lot of time planning it, and then boom, there's a hurricane in the Carolinas. So Mike had to step in and phone a friend. And apparently these days he happens to have farmer friends because he has a couple of chickens in his backyard. He probably needs lots of advice. So he calls his farmer friend, and I guess he has a B&B farm going on, a work and play farm or something. Because I mean, things were cute there. They were obviously set up for people to stay, but it also seemed like a working farm, unless they were just two separate things. And I was thinking that they were one thing, like the farm and the cottages. I don't know.
Yeah. He does get out his Situation Farms t-shirts, and we do get to see his chickens and all that, and his golf cart, which he loads up to take with him, and Ron. Poor Ron had to sit, I would say the B word, but sit B word in between two mics. Called it a mic sandwich because the guy that took the golf cart down there was also named Mike. So that was quite funny and interesting. The girls all ride together except Angelina. She does come separately. I don't really know why she came separately, but maybe for her anxiety. Because she's still reintegrating.
Always separate from everybody, and I think that that's why she thinks she's, the odd duck or whatever. But I think she's always late. I think people just have learned to let her operate on her own schedule rather than get frustrated with her.
We also learned that she's in therapy 5 times a week for several hours a day. And I'm like, is she in like addiction therapy and like a rehab or like what? Why so
I think
much?
she's
So
doing
long?
trauma therapy. I mean, I've had some suspicions because of the way that they're talking to her, this whole idea of, it's either prison or death. I mean, that's what you tell people when they have a substance use problem, not when they have trauma. I think that's a little bit mean to say to someone that has just trauma and not a substance use problem, but I don't know, so, but yeah, she is an intensive therapy. It doesn't seem like she's living there, but it seems like she is there quite often, like daily for hours, which is good. I mean, if you can afford that, why not just go and tackle it and, get it done, get it out of the way.
She does seem like she's actually getting better. There was no blow up from her.
Great. Yeah, this is 3 episodes of Angelina. I'm not saying she needs to be happy and perfect all the time, but of just, she was very normal, and she made sense when she talked, and she wasn't highly emotional or reactive. She was having a good time with everyone. So yeah, that was really good to watch. This is good to watch.
I think her being in that cottage by herself helped as well. They do go looking at the
Even the
cottages.
ghost.
Yeah, they go looking at the cottages a lot. They're all haunted, I believe, but Angelina's is the most haunted. She wanted to be in that. She says she thrives with the ghost. She got her little gadget thing out and started communicating with the ghost. And as Dina is wearing a ghost shirt, she's saying that she hates ghosts. And I love when production zoomed in on that shirt.
It was so good because it's so true. It's like, okay, if you're freaking out, that's fine. You have a legitimate fear, but how hilarious that you're wearing ghosts and bats
on your shirt. Yeah, I know it's like a cute ghost, it's not a scary thing, but production is always trolling Dina. I just love the way that they troll her and Mike. They troll, I think, the most.
Yeah.
Just love it every time.
So Pauly arrives on the farm at the cottages, and he brought some get well soon balloons for his favorite chooch. But his favorite chooch is not, in fact, well enough to be present. So poor guy. I mean, he hopped out of the car so excited with his balloons, like ready to give him to his best friend. That's why I'm worried. Like, is there something going on? It seems like, Pauly really wants to spend some time with Vinny, and Vinny could care less.
I think there's nothing going on between them. I just think maybe Vinny might be going through something personally, and he doesn't really want to be around anybody, or maybe he's just genuinely sick at this point, and
maybe he's been spending a lot of time with that girl that was dreaming about him, and so he's just, how it gets when you start dating someone new. You want to ignore your friends.
Possible, yeah.
I just thought it was weird that Pauly didn't believe him, but anyways.
How many? I mean, Vinny's been the bachelor of the decades, so
that's true. So all the girls are freaking out a little bit about the hauntedness of these cottages. Their cottage didn't seem to have any bad vibes, but they didn't want to take any chances, so they went ahead and took all of the mirrors off.
And
Which
then
I
I'm assuming got them back out to get ready and then put them back.
probably, or they, sometimes there's fixed ones in the bathrooms that you can actually take out. So I think maybe they were just focused on, where they were sleeping and stuff, possibly. Because yeah, they're obviously going to need mirrors. They're on a TV show, so I know that they're going to do their makeup and all of that. But I actually learned from Anne and her husband about this whole portal thing. I had no idea.
Yeah, mirrors can be a portal, I guess, more or less. If they're facing each other, or if you kind of invite things in, or I don't know exactly everything, but I just know that mirrors can be a portal for these things. And honestly, I feel like it ain't really gonna do much to take them down because they're already there. Like, you already sense them there. I mean, I don't know if taking their doorway is really gonna do anything.
That's true.
But anyways, they Mike shows up with Ronnie, and he's in his overalls trying to show everybody how a trained professional wrangles a chicken. And there's a lot of funny, like, Mike only has chickens, now he thinks he's a farmer type jokes. And I think this is in the next episode, but we learn that he has like this rogue rooster that is literally screwing his chickens to death. Like,
I didn't hear about this. What? I definitely don't have a picture of it, so you have to tell me now.
Yeah, he was talking, I think in the next episode, he named one of the chickens after Angelina, and the rooster had actually screwed it to death.
I do remember
And
now.
Angelina was upset about that, mainly because he named a chicken after her. She's like, "Oh, he's so obsessed with me, like putting a chicken about me."
Oh my Lord.
So that was funny, but I do think Mike needs to get rid of that rooster if that rooster is that aggressive. I mean, shoot.
I agree.
What also got me with Mike, and I'll just say it now, when they do the chicken thing with the eggs and stuff later, he says he doesn't wash his eggs. I'm like, ew, that's freaking gross. Like, it just came out of your chicken's butt.
And then he learned one thing at this farm, I hope he learned that there is literally an entire process for washing those eggs. And I understand that it doesn't happen at a factory like Guy wants us all to understand, but they do have to be washed, and there is an effing process, sir.
Yeah, and it's like the only thing I can think of is, like, if you don't wash these things, one, they're dirty from like where they were sitting, and two, from just coming. I mean, it's like not washing your newborn baby, I think. And
Totally.
it's
And then licking it.
Yeah, because when you crack an egg, sometimes the shells get in there, and like, ugh, it just made me gag. I couldn't believe. I hoped he was joking, but he seemed serious. He doesn't wash his eggs, so
I hope that he learned his lesson here.
I don't know if he's been gifting eggs to some of these people, but if I was them, I'd be like,
maybe that's why Vinny's sick.
Maybe that is why Vinny's sick. Honestly, if I was them, I'd be washing whatever Mike gives me at that point, because I know he ain't washing nothing.
So true.
Not even Lauren's washes the chicken eggs. Do you think she would, just because, sanitation?
She doesn't really deal with the chickens. She doesn't strike me as a farmer.
I mean, she was out there with him, but she was standing back.
They are stinky. Like, they're not a good time unless you really care to deal with them. Ew, yes, they're yucky. All of it's yucky.
Yeah.
So
disgust.
So I think we are jumping into episode 5 now. This one is officially called Down to Farm, and Snooki wanted to revive a little bit of her vacation that went awry because of the hurricane. So she brought out all of these Victorian outfits that I guess she planned on them all wearing way down south, but now they're just in South Jersey. So they're still going to break them out. They're still going to wear them. I thought that this was quite funny. Was it the most gripping television? No, but I was actually laughing out loud, watching them have these outfits and dance around, and these two doing their little witch dance.
Yeah, the hocus pocus.
Yeah, that's why I love them.
Snooki's hat was awesome. I freaking loved that. I loved her whole outfit. I do like the outfits that she got for them. I don't know how she knew, I mean, production must have helped getting these outfits, but I like that she recruited Dina, but then to help her, pitch these things. And then
Mhm.
everyone was on board for it. And then poor Dina's just like, every time I get out a t-shirt or a Hawaiian shirt or everybody's so mad and nobody wants to do it and everybody
And
moans
she's
the
not
drama.
wrong. She's not wrong at all. I mean, even
She's
like
not.
they have overalls to wear later on when they farm, and
Nobody was mad about it.
I heard less complaints than the matching t-shirts. I mean, I think they just have a thing against Dina. But yeah, they look cute. They all look good.
Yeah. I mean, Pauly didn't exactly dress up. He still had his t-shirt on. He just threw that jacket over to appease everybody. But shoot, I mean, he didn't complain about it. That's for sure. And Ronnie
Ollie's
and
too
Mike,
scared to be uncool. It
yeah,
might
Ronnie and Mike
ruin
look
his.
like musketeers. So
Yes, definitely. But the girls look good. The guys tried. I mean, isn't that
Angelina looked great. I
she
thought that hers
did.
was
She
amazing.
totally
And
did.
I was mad at first when she was wearing that tube top and they're like, "Nah, you got to get in this thing." She's like, "Well, it's a medium." And they're like, "Bitch, it's a corset." Like,
Right. Like you can button yourself into that
just
as much as you need. I think that they all look I think Sammy looked really good too in her little
mhm.
blue outfit with the hat.
I
It
couldn't
was good.
believe how much Jenny was living for it because she's usually the one that hates the outfits matching or whatever the most. But she
Mhm.
was all little Ho Peep, like excited and
Uh-huh.
having living her best life, saying that what did she say? Something about how she would have a good 20 years if she was living back in those days. She definitely
Yes.
would get stoned at one point, like stoned by the people.
Yes.
For
Yeah.
witchcraft or whatever, or prostitution. But she
Yeah,
thinks it would have
probably
been a
both.
good it's just that it would be a great 20 years. I just died.
It would. It totally would. I think this just brought out their playful side with all of them, and I think it set a good tone for their time
Mhm.
at the farm.
And I
And
don't
then
know what they were expecting, but I think they were expecting an empty restaurant when they walked in, and then the whole town was there. And I'm like, you guys, you're in small town America. This is probably one of the 3 restaurants in driving distance.
well, there's somewhere that has a hotel casino with a Hell's Kitchen. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe we're just unfamiliar with whatever big city this is in Connecticut, but
No,
or
this
no,
is
this
in
is in
South
South
Jersey.
Jersey.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
different place. So I think
Yeah.
they're just in this rural area where it doesn't
You're
have a
right.
lot of restaurants. So
You're
obviously
right.
the townspeople are all gonna go to the local restaurants, but they walk in and everybody stares at them. But honestly, they're on a TV show with cameras. People are gonna stare at you
Cape.
anyways. And
Oh, that's what this is. The Inn of
mhm,
Cape May.
mhm,
We're in Cape May.
yes.
Anyway,
But
the waiter was from Turkey, and he said that his parents were doctors that help people with their hair. And even Pauly was shook. He was like, I'm not this smart to prank this. This is just an actual coincidence that this happened, which is hilarious because this guy actually resulted in yet another conversation about Mike's hair. And later on, it doesn't happen right away, but later on, he gets a little bit pressured and comforted into finally fessing up that he did, in fact, visit Turkey to get some hair.
yeah, he does it in a roundabout way. Like when Angelina says something like, "Oh, it takes a month to recover." He's like, "Well, it takes 2 months."
While itching his hair that is recovering.
Yeah, and then they're like, "Well, Mike, why are you like?" They really were trying to get the truth out of him, and he
Mhm.
said, "Well, if it quacks like a duck and it
Yeah.
walks like a duck, then
And then
what
they
is
all
it?"
cheers to his hair.
So he admitted it without admitting it, but I honestly think there's no shame in it. I mean, the girls, like Jenny said, get work done all the
Right.
time. Maybe not
Well, that's when
Sammy, but
I think that's what really coaxed him into being more open about it because they were just like, dude, we've all done it. We've all done
Mhm.
things. And he was like, oh, okay.
I think with the boys, it's different for him, but the girls are like, yeah, I mean, I butched up
Right.
my face. Like,
Right.
I've put Botox, I've done
They've
filler, all
done
types
all
of
kinds of
filler.
things. I think Sammy and Dina have probably done the least, but they've all done all
Yeah,
kinds of things.
exactly. Except for maybe like Vinny and Pauly and Ronnie. But,
Yeah,
well,
no, I'm talking about the girls.
Ronnie did do that teeth whitening thing.
Yeah, Ronnie got a brand new pair of teeth. I mean, I'm sure that they've all done, a little bit of tweaks. But yeah, I mean, as far as the girls, I think the girls have probably
Mhm.
all done something, but Sammy looks the exact same, so she has not done too much.
No,
She's
if
just
she's doing
aging
anything, it could just be
beautifully.
some filler, or maybe she's got a good skincare routine. But
Yeah,
I mean, really, like Italian women don't age terribly. It's just if
yeah,
you take care of yourself, like my mom's looks great for her age.
she
It's just
does.
if you take care of your skin, I think even for anybody, if you just take care of your skin well enough, like you can age gracefully. But once you start injecting all those fillers and things in, especially if you do it young, like in your
Mhm.
20s and your teens, you're going to have to do it forever because then your skin will stop producing elastin and collagen, which is something that it just naturally produces on its own. But when you're putting it in your face, your body's like, oh, I don't have to make that anymore. And then you're going to have more wrinkles when those things wear off. So, yeah, there's like pros and cons to all that stuff. But that's why once you start doing procedures like that, you usually can't stop.
Thank you for the skincare corner.
You're welcome. Licensed esthetician over. Anyway, so we get all
Well,
of their nicknames because they are new people now in these outfits. So
I just thought that they were all pretty funny. I love the smushing on Tuesdays for Angelina. She said she likes to get hit from the back. So,
Ruby
okay, girl.
Tuesdays, all
Ruby
right.
Tuesday.
Which I forgot about Ruby Tuesdays till she mentioned Ruby Tuesday. That's a real
And Ronnie
restaurant.
was like, "You look like a Ruby Tuesday," and I was like, "What does that mean?"
Yeah, I don't know. And then
Little Ho
Jenny's Little
Peep.
Ho Peep, and then we got DJ Pauly D, which is
He's never done anything. He ain't dressed. He ain't changing his name.
he
He's
is
still
who
a
he
DJ
is.
in 1800s and in the 2020s.
I mean, by then I'd call myself disc jockey.
At
Pauly D.
least, at
That's like the
least.
whole name.
Yeah. We got Ronald though, as opposed to Ronnie. So he's definitely transformed back to the 1800s.
Mhm.
And he's the one shot bro,
Can take
obviously.
down Dracula with one punch, which we have seen him punch somebody in season 1, I believe it was, or 2, and I think they showed that.
I think he's done that a couple of times.
Man, he was
I'm
not I remember he
serious.
went to jail for that one. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, they chased him all the way up the road. He was basically home, walking home.
he was
And
trying to avoid, I will say he was trying to avoid those people, but they just kept badgering
they
him.
deserved what they got, to be quite honest with you. They effed around and found out, and they met good old Ronald One Shot, bro.
From
I'm right
Secaucus.
here. I'm right here.
From
No,
Secaucus.
the Secaucus is where he got a black eye
I
from
know.
somebody. I actually looked up the other day where Secaucus was located because it's just such a funny place.
Is it in Jersey or is it
It
in
is in
Vegas?
Jersey,
Because
yes.
I asked Dean, I'm like, you ever heard of Secaucus? And he was like,
It looks pretty small. Like I was kind of zooming in, just looking, nearby, sort of close to New York and everything. And I mean, it's closer to New York, but yeah, it's a pretty small area. I had to actually search for it to come up.
yeah, I loved the Secaucus area. Everyone was like, Secaucus, Secaucus.
I just like saying it, and like every time they talk about Secaucus, they never have good things to say. It reminds me of like us when we talk about, I don't know, Midland or something.
Flint.
Definitely that.
Hey, Midland's
So
a little bit better than, I mean, Midland's fine to me. It's Flint and
I know, but the Midland people is what I have
okay.
a problem with.
Yeah. So, Michael, the situation, owns 8 chickens, prefers Versace. I mean, I don't think that that was very 1800s, but Michael, the situation might be a little bit more formal. Then there's Dina the Weena Cleaner, who turns into Dina the Rat later, but
Totally turns into Dina the Rat. She's
you
a
should
fan
have
of
just started
wieners.
as Dina the Rat.
It really should have. I mean, she was not yet the rat, but as history goes on, we all adjust and take on new roles. So tonight she's Dina
Yeah.
the Weena Cleaner, and tomorrow she'll be Dina the Rat,
Mm-hmm.
never to be trusted again.
Yep.
So finally, Mike fesses up to his hair. They all give him a nice cheers. And then the next morning, they're having breakfast at the cottage.
And
And
look at Sam and Ron, only 1 degree of separation.
I know, and everybody's happy. They're not looking directly at each other, but they're next to each other. And Angelina is telling everyone about her ghostly encounters, which Anne and I are both equally as disappointed about the lack of
A seance.
a seance, the lack of, I mean, they just really skirted around the ghost topic here, and I thought that they could have done a lot more with that. I
Yeah.
would
I
have
was
rather seen
hoping
one less dinner.
Yeah, I was hoping at least the boys would go over there and check it out and like do the ghost thing with her. You
Right.
know, I just think that would have been so fun to see everybody doing it because the scenes where she did that ghost stuff, I was like
I
in
was on the edge of
dire
my
straits.
seat. I was like, he said reality?
Like, I'm done with that. I'm done.
I know. I think that's actually a good idea too. I can appreciate that Dina didn't really seem into it. She seemed really put off by it, even kind of annoyed, and maybe some of the other girls weren't. But the guys could have came over and done some investigating for her. I thought that would have maybe
Hmm.
been fun to watch.
Right.
But the hayride and Farmer Andrew pull up to the cottage
Which
and they're
Farmer
getting
Andrew seemed pretty like stoic or annoyed with these people most of the time. Like he's just
I yeah, I mean this comes later, but when he gives them these eggs that they themselves have cleaned all day and picked up, and then Ronnie proceeds to just throw them and waste them. I just know this man wanted to one shot bro Ronnie himself.
I know he was annoyed by that because those are eggs he could have sold or eggs that could have been eaten. And yeah, they just picked them and cleaned them, and he could have waited till Farmer Andrew wasn't around. But I also see Ronnie's point of he can't take these eggs with him, although he could have just gave them to somebody who could.
Could have gave them to somebody else. He could have gave them back to Farmer Andrew, like you said, so he could have sold them. Or you know what? He worked his ass off for them eggs. He could have thrown them. But I think it was a little disrespectful to do it near Farmer Andrew, who obviously takes his job very seriously.
And he wasn't going to drop those people off. He was going he was going to take them to the pigs.
We weren't done yet.
Yeah. But
Ronnie's having a great time the whole farm thing. I know
Mhm.
this wasn't completely necessary, but I just agree with him. You can never catch me in an overall because why do my pants need to go over my shoulders? I don't know. You'll never see it.
Yeah.
Not a suspender, not an overall. My pants don't belong on my shoulders.
I agree. I think it's a little although I don't know, I might throw on an overall. It might be fun. But the only thing with me in that is like peeing, I same thing with
It's
rompers and
just
stuff.
so
It's so hard
stupid.
to pee.
The whole thing is dumb. I'm not going to judge someone in an overall. If you want to suffer in that way, more power to you. But I could never. I
Rem-
hate an overall.
Remind me
So
to
much
get
so.
matching overalls on our next girls trip.
I would never. You know what I'll do? I'll put the pants on and then I'll do the whole like, tie them up. Oh, you can catch me in that. I'll be hot, hot girl, something like that.
See, I don't mind an overall now that I'm thinking about it. I probably wear them.
No.
Like, as long
Even
as
when
it
I
looks
was a
good.
child, I think probably my first panic attack ever happened. My mom forced me to.
Or like a jumper, like the ones that are just a skirt. I could get with that.
I'm okay with that. Just not a pull your pants up over your shoulder.
Well, I'd be pulling your skirt over your shoulder.
I just feels more like a dress that way than a pants up. It
Pantsuit.
feels like a
Okay.
bottom down. But
All right.
I'm just weird. I'm clearly overstimulated by my pants touching my shoulders.
As with Ronnie. But
Yeah.
so they get to this chicken thing, and Sam and Jenny just can't do it. They're about to throw up. They're
Yeah.
gagging. They can't deal with the smell, which is interesting because, like, I mean, I know it's probably smells worse than kids' diapers, but I mean, Jenny used to, change diapers.
Yeah.
Sam wants to
It's
change
different when it's your kids,
diapers.
you know.
Yeah,
You kind of
but
have a tolerance for your kids' stuff.
true. But the meatballs decide to just drink it all away, and I think that that was the best plan because they end up getting the most eggs. I think it's them chugging that wine that really kept them in the
Yeah.
game.
I guess in the morning they decided to fill some water bottles with wine, and those definitely came in handy because as we skip into episode 6, I think this is now episode
Yeah.
6, which is called Excellent. The meatballs win the egg contest, which is shocking to me because they all looked like they were suffering.
They were until they started drinking that wine, I think. It really does numb your senses.
It definitely does. Yeah. Speaking of numbing our senses,
Yes.
the plethora of Vinnies that Angelina has in her life.
Yeah, she picks up this chicken and she calls it 3.0, and they all kind of laugh about it because there's obviously Vinny, our Vinny, and then there's Vinny 2.0, which everybody couldn't stand, and then now there's Vinny 3.0. I think they're like, girl, you need to stay away from the Vinnies.
Yeah.
But
Don't name your chicken Vinny.
I'm kind of for it, you know. If she's gonna have a 3.0, I'd rather have it be a chicken.
I guess.
Someone that can't really talk back to her.
True. She does not need another human
Mhm.
Vinny. That's for sure.
But
So
they had a lot more fun cleaning the eggs than picking the eggs.
I think so. Yeah, it seemed a lot more tolerable, but it also seemed like it went a little faster unless, that was just the editing because it seems like that would take longer. But they did end up being, I don't know, a lot of people might have different opinions. They were gifted them or paid them or, Angelina didn't like the idea. She wanted some money for her hard work, but
Very Italian of her. I want
I
cash
think this
money.
is like a work and keep farm. You can work here, you can harvest the eggs, clean the eggs, and you can keep your eggs, but you're not
Yeah,
getting paid.
I think for them it was more like an experience, you know,
Yes.
and I don't think they were like entitled to getting paid. I mean, they weren't like doing an internship or anything like that, but they just had a
They
day
did
on the
nothing for
farm.
this. They created work for this man. He had to drive them around on a tractor. He had to watch them. He had to teach them.
I'm
This
sure
was
he could
not
have picked more eggs by himself and got it done in the whole day, but he had to spend his whole day wrangling these people around. So I did think it was funny that Angelina said she would have preferred getting some cash because I mean he might what would that equivalent to? $5 for the egg carton? Like
that.
eggs are expensive right now. So I mean, girl, it's pretty much like getting cash money. I don't know. I
Yes.
know inflation don't hit you people like it does us, but
So speaking of inflation not hitting people, here we have Ronnie, just chucking the eggs out into the open, not giving any care to the efforts that were put in, to the farmer who's going to be upset, to the cost of the eggs or the price that he could have sold them for.
that man was cringing on the inside. He couldn't even look in his rear view after a minute. I just know it. The man was fuming.
I feel like he was angry. I feel like that's why they didn't show his face for a while. It's probably fright.
He's probably just
Look
red.
at
Yeah,
his
he was
ear is
not.
red
Yep,
ear.
not happy.
He said, "What the hell?"
What the hell? So, I'm surprised Mike could even drive that thing though with how much egg cake was on
And
there.
then he was windshield wiping it.
And it was doing absolutely nothing but smearing it around. So
Not
he
anything.
must have had to look around the side. I don't know how he got that cart cleaned off. Hopefully, Farmer Andrew had a hose nearby. But then again, that's more work for Farmer Andrew to go find a hose because people were throwing eggs. I don't even think I would have gave them the eggs until the end of the damn trip.
True. I don't know why he thought that was a good idea, but he probably didn't realize who he was working with. So
Yeah,
Dina quickly rats everyone out and
becomes the rat.
becomes the rat.
Hmm.
It only took 8 seasons to find the rat, and now we know who it is.
They even look alike.
They do kind of look alike.
Looks like that could be your dad.
Yeah, at least her uncle.
Anyway, so then I loved this.
So did I.
They were doing the pig stuff, and Snooky's like, "Those pigs remind me of me and Dana just running around like, where's our wine? Give me food." And I love their sense of humor. It's funny, but they do
It is.
decide to ditch and then go get some actual wine. I don't think they lasted very long at the pig thing. They were pretty over it. And
No,
I don't know, they must have been pretty close to camp because they were just kind of walked to the house, dropped off their eggs,
we were
and then went.
using golf carts to get around.
Okay, but did he like drop them off by some golf carts or something?
There were golf carts on the property that they were using. I don't know why Mike brought his own.
I know. He just wanted to
Oh,
have
look,
his
there it
own.
is, actually.
Yeah, that's I think theirs, the property, because Mike's is
Yes,
white.
I have a sense that this is a thing.
Hmm.
Like a whole, the farm, the winery, which is a farm, the cottages.
It honestly looks like a good time to me. I mean, I'm not really a
I
big
want
fan
to
of
go.
it.
Where is this in South Jersey? I know at least the
Cape
restaurant is,
something. Cape
at that
whatever.
Cape something. Yeah, maybe we should all go on a girls trip. Sounds like a great time.
I
Except
mean,
the farming.
I'd have fun. I bet the service is crap, but I would probably have some fun.
This lady seemed real excited to have them all there.
She's a great server. So I honestly think she's probably like the manager or whatever. But they have this little outside area to themselves. They start wine tasting, and then Ronnie gets up to go to the bathroom for 9 minutes.
Yeah,
And,
a long time.
and Mike's a snoop. He went in there to see what Ronnie was doing. We all know when Ronnie goes to the bathroom, it's not going to be pleasant.
Apparently, this man drank a whole shot of oil earlier. I don't know why they give us flashbacks like these and they don't give us a little bit more context. Like, show us the circumstances. I guess I know that they were talking about it being some kind of special
Cleansing
um
oil or,
olive olive
yeah.
oil, but I think that they just wanted to taste it. I don't know why this much. That is 5 tablespoons at least, maybe 6.
Yeah. Well, I think it was like it's the kind of oil that like kind of cleans you out a little bit on the inside, but yeah, I think they were kind of messing with Ron to put that much in there to see if he would actually do it, and he did. I mean, I'll give him
Ron
props for
will
that.
always do it.
Yeah, I mean, I know he doesn't drink anymore, right? So, or does he
Mm-mm.
drink sometimes?
No,
Not
I
at
don't
all.
think he does.
So, I mean, that
I
was
could
his
be
form
wrong, but I
of
think so.
that was what he could do is take a shot of oil. I just
But he didn't do it there. He did it a long time ago. So I just want to know why. I just want to
It
know
hit
why.
and it hit him later. I mean, the man was in the bathroom. Mike's like, I went in and I peeped, and it's like you knew that was Ronnie in there. You didn't
Yes,
even have to peep.
he
Like it's just,
followed him to the bathroom just so that he could go tell everyone that Ronnie was pooping with 100% accuracy. I knew the second that Ronnie got up from the table that that man's going to poop before I even knew that he drank oil.
yeah. If one thing we know is that Ronnie will go blow up a bathroom, but at least he's trying to be discreet about it. But they were worried about his behind, so they
Yeah.
wanted him to do cartwheels to prove that he was okay. And I was like, what is? So that must have been the
No,
one.
actually, Snooki was teaching him how to do a cartwheel because he's a cheer dad now. So he needs to learn these
Yeah.
appropriately.
And she made fun of his cartwheel, but hers was pretty much the exact same thing.
It totally was. And I mean, from my understanding, this is his first time or among his first times cartwheeling. So,
Yeah, he says that he goes to
he's
these
supposed to
cheer
be a coach.
practices, but that he's like picked up a few things, and I'm like, what do you mean? Like, do you go home and like and practice, or do you do this at the cheer
Maybe
place,
he
or
just
just
learned the
mentally?
technique in
Okay,
his
like
first.
he just mentally downloaded it for
Yeah.
later.
Well, you do have to help your kids train when they're in sports, and you
Mhm.
have to kind of supplement that outside of just them going to their practices and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, he probably does know the basics of a cartwheel,
I mean,
which
he
is
is a
funny.
dancer. He's a good kicker.
He's doing great. He just needs to straighten out his legs a little bit, put them together, and you
Yeah.
got basically a cartwheel.
He did more of a round off, but I'm still fine with it. And then
Yeah,
Pauly
yeah.
D does a round off.
He
And
did, yes. They all decided they wanted to fly through the air just a little bit. So,
yeah.
that's what happens when you're in your 30s and you drink some wine. You start thinking you can fly.
Yeah, and then you get sore the next day.
Exactly.
Um, so they go back to the cottages and they're starting to they just have a little conversation before they get ready for dinner that
For yet
evening.
another dinner.
Another dinner. And the girls actually have like this really cute gift for Angelina, and I'm really happy that they did this for her because she does feel like the black sheep, and I think that it's a good gesture for them to acknowledge the work that she's doing on herself.
I agree. I think it's a really nice gesture. And I'm really happy that they're doing this. I think that this will help her on the days where she's questioning things to remind her that they
Mhm.
are all a unit. Um, I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer or a conspiracy theorist, but sometimes I am those things. And I sort of feel like the production made them do this. Like I sort of feel like even the walkie-talkie that came in that
Or
said your
Dina.
package is here, I feel like, or Dina, that's possible. It's definitely
Mhm.
possible.
I mean,
But
you saw that, what did she give Sammy, the
the
inspirational quote?
affirmation things, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's possible that Dina came up with this, but part of me is like the production was telling them, this is the first season that we have everyone here and do
Mhm.
not, holy cow, it just started pouring. Sorry. This is the first season that we have all of you guys here, and you guys better not run Angelina off just because she's psychotic, because she's also the most entertaining. So make her feel special and keep it moving.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't know. I'm sure that they did this out of the goodness of their hearts. I know that they do care about Angelina. Jenny didn't suggest it. Well, that's for sure. So welcome back. Welcome back. That is true. We all know that.
The way Jenny responded to those affirmations was
Cute. It was cute. It made me laugh. I mean, that's why
they
I love
definitely took credit when it went well, but they were both like, this is ridiculous.
Well, that's how this is gonna go as well. So yeah.
Mhm.
Anyways, Ron and Mike have a little heart to heart while they're waiting for the dinner and everyone to get ready, even though they're just wearing their like comfy clothes, I think, for dinner tonight. But Ron talks about how he's been doing a lot of speaking engagements, and Mike thinks that that's a good thing for him to be doing. And then Pauly kind of jumps in on the conversation as well. So
I want to go to these speaking engagements.
I wouldn't mind seeing one. I think that would be better than Leah Messer's speaking engagements. Anyways,
Sure.
we get this really hilarious phone war
Tag. Yeah.
situation. I was actually cracking up on the first watch. I just thought the whole thing was really funny. It's just playful, and I just think that's what I like about the show. It's playful, it's funny. I like all their different personalities. Just it reminds you of, like your friends that you had in high school that kind of picked on you, and you guys were all like a big dysfunctional group.
Yeah. Yeah, they just are calling each other, hanging up, calling each other and hanging up. And then when she finally gets it out, she's like, "Will you guys just get Angelina to dinner?" That's
Yeah,
all that she was
I
trying
know.
to say.
I know. And again, with the editing always enhancing the show, they gave us like a nice little scoreboard at the bottom. And I do believe this one was my favorite. He was like, "Don't hang up. I'm going to do it first." Die.
And that's how he wins the war.
Yes, he did win at the end.
Yeah. Which
was
I
good.
was surprised. She had quite the lead on him. But
I know. She started 3-0, and then he just rapid fire.
and she was almost genuinely getting annoyed.
She was annoyed from the beginning, and then I think she got better.
Yeah.
She was annoyed the whole time. Well, you know what? She looks a little annoyed right here.
Yeah, it's Dana.
It's Dina. She always got something.
Dana the Wayna Cleaner. So
Dina
they hide this big picture. Good thing they came in there second, because I think Angelina might have noticed it if she walked in and saw that facing backwards, but she probably would not have messed with it. She might have been like, well, that might be for the restaurant. I don't know. But they do have like a nice dinner. They had like that I want to have a pasta and cheese like that so bad. I've been seeing these everywhere, and I really wanted it when I saw it. It made me crave it.
I want it right now too. It does look so, I think.
Ugh. And Pauly has to send the videos to his girlfriend because she loves it. And I'm like, I'd be pissed if I'm getting these videos.
That's what me and my mom do. We're both like obsessed with eggs Benedict whenever we go to a restaurant for breakfast. So we both will send each other eggs Benedict, and it makes me so jealous and so mad every time. But also when I get my own and I can send it to her, I get real excited.
I don't think I could handle it. I'd be like, this is just making me hungry, and now I don't have a way to get it.
I debated not putting up that picture because every time I look at it, my stomach actually growls, and
I know, I'm really hungry now.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Nicole does end up talking and sharing finally with Angelina about her discovery with her mom.
and Pauly.
And Pauly's an earshot, and it seems like she forgot to tell Pauly or something, because she kind of made a point out of talking with Angelina about it a little bit, and then Pauly's like, "Well, I didn't know about it," and she was just like, "Oh, here's a picture." Like, it's just sort of second thought, but I thought that they did a good job too of doing some more processing with Snooki. I'll interchangeably call her Snooki and Nicole, but doing some more processing with her about just the effects of a decision like that. It's just insane. If she would have
Butterfly effect.
totally. I mean, and it's not just something small, you know, her whole entire life would have changed. And not just her life. I'm not saying that Jersey Shore is life changing or anything, but here I am right now on a Sunday night talking about Jersey Shore, talking about this show, and we would not be doing that. Isn't that wild?
At least it wouldn't be the same, that's for sure. And I don't know if the show would have lasted as long if it wasn't for the
Snooki
chemistry of these
was
people.
Jersey Shore for a couple of years,
Yeah.
at
Especially
least.
those first few years. She was
Yes, parties here. I mean, that's it. That was Jersey Shore, the poof, like all of it.
Her
So
getting punched in the face is what brought them all together.
yes, it's just we would certainly not be sitting here right now talking about this show if her mom didn't make that, you know, selfless sacrifice so long ago. So it's just wild,
Yeah.
you know,
I
all the
think it's
things.
more wild that her mom doesn't really like know it's her. Like I know that this show like streams or has an audience in so many countries, and I'd assume her sister, her younger sister, probably has seen it or
Mhm.
something. And I
I
don't
think,
know, like, and if you saw them and they look that much alike, and you know that she's adopted and all that, like,
yeah.
I would be,
I
wondering.
would be
So,
curious, definitely, but I'm pretty sure she said she hasn't shared a picture of herself with them. Although obviously you can, you know, sense that they're gonna look something like you. And yeah, if you see
mhm.
Snooki on TV and she's talking about being adopted and she looks like
And
you,
from Chile,
it
because she
looks like
says
a
I'm
duck and
adopted
acts
from
like a
Chile.
duck, it could probably be a duck.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I'm very interested about that, and I wonder if that might come up later when she does get more personal with them, and we see a
I
little
think,
bit more of her story. Maybe they do
yeah,
recognize her. So,
yeah. I also like that she's kind of doing it this way. I think part of maybe what she was able to learn from Angelina's
mhm.
experience was to have it be more of a private situation, and not private like from the public, but private like keeping who you are and your identity a little bit more private until
Right,
you figure out what you want to do.
right.
Angelina, you know, and I get why Angelina did what she did 100%. You know, she was so excited and she just wanted to have family.
And meet him, and yeah, I understand that. And sometimes it's hard when you're that public of a figure to even hide who you are. I
Totally.
think especially in America where her dad was, it's just not like her dad was in a different country. Her dad was kind of like up the street in a way.
Yeah, like her whole life, which is, I think, the first red flag.
It's sad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate what happened with her and her dad. I think that it's disgusting. I hate that her dad was like trying to get her to buy him stuff, and
Yeah.
and pay for bills and things like that. And I think she did help him out a lot, but then, it
Yeah.
just it becomes a transactional relationship. And if he's been
Right.
gone your whole life and now he's asking for things, yeah, that's a huge red flag. But I felt so bad for her. I mean, I can imagine that that's part of her trauma struggle right now is
I
what
think that
happened with
like
her dad.
totally ripped it all open. You know, she
Mhm.
already had a hard time that her dad was absent, and then meeting her dad and having those emotions and then seeing the kind of guy he is, it's like a second
It's
wave of
almost
grief.
worse. It's like you'd prefer them to be absent again at that point and not
Totally.
know who they
Yeah.
are, because then you can at least build up somebody in your head that you hope is a better person.
Well, that's what she had been doing, like, with his absence, was
Mhm.
kind of make like, romanticizing who he could be, and then, yeah, the reality was really sad.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
thoughts and prayers to Angelina as she does her intensive therapy. We hope that she is healing because she is really a good person and very entertaining.
Deep down. But,
Deep down.
we do actually get them to they bring out this photo, and they, have the little word with her about being the
Yeah.
black sheep and how they
Well,
don't want
before
her to
that,
feel
Mike
that
has
way.
some snacks directly after
Yeah.
dinner.
Of
But
course he does.
yeah.
What's he got,
And they
Hot
do that.
Pockets,
Right? They
pizza
had
rolls,
he had pizza roll, these were all things he actually pulled out, like, they added them as he
fresh
pulled them out.
mozzarella.
The,
Telling
like, in the tube, the actual fresh
Yeah,
mozzarella. Yeah, sliced
yeah.
and everything, and then he brought both kinds of sausages because he knows some people don't like it spicy.
I like that those are the campfire necessities. There's no s'mores or anything in there. It's just
Italian necessities and pizza rolls.
yes. Which more power to you, Mike. That made me want to go buy a bag of pizza rolls. I'm not gonna lie. I wish I would have thought of that at the grocery store earlier.
I like pizza rolls. I don't care how old you are. They're delish. Although I
Yeah.
did have one of those Tostino's pizzas, like the square ones. I used to
Mhm.
smash those in high school, and I got a craving for one the other day, and I tried one again, and it just was not as good. Like
Didn't hit.
it was actually inedible.
Ooh.
It's bad. But pizza
Mhm.
rolls, they still hit for sure.
Yeah.
They also went around for a brief moment. I guess the newbies or the like newly returning people all, shared their gratitude for being back and being around and being happy. So Ronnie, Sam, Angelina also talked a little bit about how much she was happy for people to support her, and Snooki, of course, was wasted the
Yeah.
whole time.
Yes. And they bring out this family tree, which I thought was still a cute idea, and
I love
Angelina
it.
seemed
Yeah.
to enjoy it.
Snooki was so drunk they thought she was trying to find Angelina's eyelash for some reason. I was just as confused as Dina. Where did you get that idea?
I mean, she does wear fake eyelashes, but I don't think that it was missing. So, I mean,
Maybe
if
it
you
was.
looked at her
Maybe
face, it was still there.
true. Well, I mean, maybe they didn't film her up close anymore. Maybe she was missing her eyelash.
Impossible, I guess.
But Dina screams at Angelina about how much of a family member she really is. And I mean, look at her face. She was mad.
We love tough love.
We love you.
We're dysfunctional.
Yes.
So,
So
Angelina does appreciate it. She likes that they're basically on her side, and I think this was a really sweet gift for her. I'm glad that they did this. Was that from like her bachelorette party? One of those
this,
photos? No, over left, I should say.
oh, here?
Yeah.
It
Or
could
no,
have
that's
been
Sammy.
because she's
That's
in
Sam.
black.
Okay, never mind. That's Sammy. That's in white. Okay. I was like,
Yes.
wow, girl. Imagine using wedding photos from Angelina's wedding.
So true. Yeah, I did look around earlier to make sure that there was none from the wedding, but I don't think there was any from the bachelorette party either. A lot of these look kind of old school, and then like sort of these ones look more recent.
Yeah. Okay.
But a lot of these ones up here are really, look at them
Yeah.
there. That's when they all had their same face.
Yeah. That was from season 1, I think. So,
Probably. I mean, look at the
or
clothing.
2, but I think it was 1 because Angelina was like done with those people by season 2. But yeah, but this is kind of like where they leave the episode off pretty much. I mean, they leave the farm. I mean,
Yeah,
they
they
do
do a
have
little bit of this, but this is
yeah.
typical.
Yeah, they had like a issue with the wine spill and stuff like that, but they do like get ready, leave the farm, that's when I was annoyed about the whole ghost thing because I was like, damn, like they're really
Yeah,
not
they're
gonna do
really
this ghost
leaving and they're
thing.
not going to address this.
Whatever. So they leave and Angelina puts the picture over her mantle and she's like,
She
oh, it's like it fits.
I know, like, duh. That's what a mantle's for. But she does inform us, at least in my memory for the first time, that Vinny
Mhm.
2.0 is no longer living in her house anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
we knew that when Mike came over or someone came over and turned off a light for her.
oh, okay.
I think that was, like, in either the beginning of the season or a different season, but I do remember somebody came over to turn off a light, and I was like,
Okay.
"Yeah, that man ain't living there no more if she didn't know how to turn the damn light off."
I do remember that. For some reason, I feel like that was so long ago, but I
I
also
think it
feel
was
like I've lived
last
a
season.
year in this last month. So,
True. But, yeah, so Vinny 2.0 isn't there anymore, which thank God. I mean, I was sick of that man, but
yeah, we were all done with him last season for sure. I mean, after what, like, Snooki just read that man for filth in public with everybody there and nobody stopped her. So I think we all knew that that was finished a long time ago, but it
done.
definitely put the nail in the coffin at that point. So we do have a little bit of a brief next time. I guess Nicole's gonna officiate a wedding. I don't know whose wedding. I couldn't catch it. Is it her friend, like her gay friend, or is he married? The one that shows
I
up.
don't know. I'm actually surprised because, her and weddings are usually a little bit tricky, but it does seem like she
Well,
slips up on her words.
It looks like it's going to continue to be tricky for her. She admits to drinking some wine after she messes some things up. I don't know if she calls
Yeah.
this man the wrong name or what happens, but I hope she learned her lesson and she just stops with the wedding things.
Yeah,
Uh,
as
so
someone who has officiated a wedding, I will say I had to wait until after the wedding to drink. There was no way I
yes,
could have did both. So,
yes, especially when you have, big personality like you have or like Snooki, it's just you don't
mhm.
want your I'm not saying you don't want your personality to come out, but you don't want to overdo it,
You don't
when
want to
it's not
repeat the
your
same thing over and over
yes,
again.
it's not your day. It's not about you. You have to just kind of play a role right now and
Right.
be as unnoticeable as possible, even though you're Snooki.
I think
So
whoever that was that invited her to do that was trying to pull like a Kim Kardashian, you know how she like officiated a
right.
wedding or
Yeah.
like they
I'm
probably well,
sure they probably, I guess we'll see, but if it were me, I think you know what you're signing up for too. She's probably going to be half in the bag by wedding time, unless the wedding's at 9 a.m. Even
yeah,
then, she's going to have at least a glass of wine.
she's gonna have it on her. She's gonna be drinking it out of a water bottle.
Yeah.
But
So we also see that Ange is gonna be online crying, talking about how nobody supports her. So I really hope that we're not going backwards. I hope that they're just
yeah,
trying to sort of tease us a
I
little
was like,
bit.
they just gave her a family tree.
I
We
know,
just
but this
gotta,
is the cycle that we're used to with her,
yeah.
unfortunately. So I really hope that that's not what we're looking at here. And they're also gonna tease us like Polly's gonna propose, but they've teased this to us so many times. It's like the boy who cried wolf at this point. So I doubt that that's what's happening at that random, unassuming dinner.
Um, it sounds like he's proposing, but it could also be some kind of prank.
He's done that like 3 times where it'll be like, okay, Nicole, or not Nicole,
Nikki.
Nikki.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, Nicole probably actually, but yeah, Nikki.
No,
I
I
hope.
think it's actually like a Nikita or something. I think
Okay.
it's a
Yeah.
different name.
I hope that he actually just does it for real or,
I mean,
you
that
know,
would be nice, but I can't imagine he's gonna do it at that random dinner. It just looked so random.
but also to have that be a prank for you all the time, like I would be so annoyed. I would be pissed if
I
I was
know. I
her.
hope that they have some kind of agreement or understanding between each other before he just goes around like pranking her like this all the time.
Oh, that woman's a saint.
She is.
She's lasted so long.
Yes. So, well, thank you all for joining us for these 3 episodes of Jersey Shore. We're going to continue to cover Jersey Shore, but just a heads up for July, we might have kind of a sporadic schedule. We're going to cover everything, but it might not come out as
Mhm.
consistently as weekly. We might have to do some of these batches of episodes just
Yeah.
because of our schedule for the summer. So have
Yeah.
some patience with us and stick around. And thank you for watching. We will
Yeah.
catch you in the
It's
next
been a rough summer and we're sorry about that. Like it's, we're trying to get this content once like August hits and definitely after September we will be back on track. And like a lot of it is because like I am now pregnant. I said this on a other live that we did, but I'm now finally announcing it, but I've been very sick off and on and it's been hard to edit and kind of keep up with my projects. So our channel has been lacking a little bit, but we're trying to get back on track. We do have a few vacations, like Brooke's going on vacation next week. I go on vacation August 1st. So after a lot of that settles down, we should get better, but just expect more lives from us for right now. I won't leave you completely hanging. We will post a story of the week while we're kind of in this little like week hiatus, but we will be back by the weekend of the 18th trying to catch up with some of these lives and some of these shows. We are also doing Match Me Abroad right now. If that's a show you guys haven't watched, you should. It just
Yeah.
started the new season and it is gold. So
Yeah.
please start
Check it
watching
out.
that. You can
It's
watch
on
it on
TLC.
Discovery Plus, TLC. Um, there's a bunch of ways you can stream it. I recommend that show and definitely check out our recaps on it because we have a lot of fun there. It's kind of like fun, like in a way Jersey Shore is fun. So if you're
Yeah.
here watching Jersey Shore, I think you'd have a lot of fun watching Match Me Abroad. Um, but yeah, we are covering season 2 of that. We're also we got some things in the works, so definitely stick around. Don't unsubscribe, okay? Just stop with that.
Stop doing the unsubscribe. Tell your friends, share us as usual, hit the share button, copy the link so that other people can subscribe and stay subscribed. And we hope that you all are enjoying your summer and getting some time outside and off of YouTube and off of the TVs, although we all love a good TV.
Yeah, get some fresh air unless you're like in Texas right now and it's like flooding everywhere, but get some fresh air.
Yes, yes. So, all right. Well, we will see you next time. We will cover an episode or a couple of episodes, and we'll keep this train on a rolling.
Right. Remember to like, subscribe, and share, copy the link, and reduce, reuse, recycle Rihanna. And goodbye, you guys.
Goodbye.
DTF.